A very good afternoon to all the viewers and the webinar team. This is A. Ram Prasad, Principal, Telangana Model School, Ramachandrapuram, Sangareddy District. I have the privilege to introduce Mrs. SHAITAZ BEGUM, PGT Political Science from Telangana Model School, Dhanwada, Narayanpet District. She has a master's degree from Usman University and B.Ed. She has vast experience in teaching in various education institutions. So she is part of Telangana Model School since the inception of the schools in 2013. She has conducted so many sessions for intermediate first year as well as second year students. So she is a good orator and has command over her subject. Today, the session which she is going to handle is secularism. So as a responsible Indian citizen, as a citizen of democratic country, like the biggest democratic country in the world, like America, like India, so we need to know what is secularism, respect for other religions, and camaraderie between all Indian citizens. I look forward for all the students making optimum use of this particular topic, not only for just attempting the questions in the examination, but also for knowing the responsibilities and the moral and ethical values within the society. Over to Mrs. SHAITAZ BEGUM for her session.
Very good morning to everyone. A very warm welcome as well. I'm here to conduct this session. I'm happy to conduct this session because of the topic secularism. Because this topic is very important for us. In a country like India, which is multi-religious and multilingual country, the spirit of secularism, the concept of secularism need to be understood, and the spirit of secularism has to be maintained for the development and for the unity and integrity of India. So this topic is very important, not only for the examination point of view, but it is important for us, for all the citizens to understand this concept. This concept is very important because secularism is one of the best achievements of democratic states. What we can say, this term secularism is one of the best achievements of the democratic states. So today let us discuss this topic, secularism. Please pay attention during the session, students. So before we proceed to the main characteristics of secularism or features or the limitations, let us first know what is the broader or the general meaning of the term secularism. The term secular in Latin language means of this world. It denotes the meaning opposite of religion, opposite of religion. So you can understand with this term secular, the term secular itself says that it does not promote any religion. It stays neutral in the terms of religion, in the terms of religion. I hope all the students know what is the meaning of the term religion, isn't it? We all follow a religion, isn't it, children? Most of us are theist and atheist. When we discuss the word theist, T-H-I-E-S-T-H, theist means the person who believes in God, the person who believes in God. Theist, we perform or we follow a particular religion, Atheist, the person who does not follow or who does not obey any religion, who does not believe in God, is called a theist. Opposite of the word theist, atheist. So here, the term secular itself says that it denotes the meaning, the opposite of religion. That means the state should not interfere in the religious matters of an individual. The English word secular comes from Latin word seculum, which means an age or the spirit of an age. That means a particular period of an age. Here we are discussing the meaning of the term secular. From there we are going to understand what does secularism means. So here in Latin it means the opposite of religion, and in English it means an age or the spirit of an age, the particular period of an age. It also has the same meanings in the Greeks, a eon, which is used to the New Testament for an age or era. Era or an age, that means period. So it is used in the New Testament. Now, what is this word New Testament, children? Yes, I'll tell you. What is this New Testament? Actually, as I told you, India is a multi-religious country. People who follow different religions stay here, like Hindus, Muslims, Christians, Sikhs, Jains. These are all different forms of religion, and we follow religion of our choice. So here, New Testament, it is related to Christianity. It is related to Christian religion. The Christians, the Christian Bible is a sacred book of Christian. The Christians Bible has two sections, Old Testament and New Testament. Old Testament and New Testament. The New Testament discusses the teachings and person, that is Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, the founder of Christianity. And Old Testament and New Testament together, the Christians consider together as sacred scriptures for their religion. It is a sacred book for them. So what is this New Testament? This New Testament, it consists of 27 books. It consists of 27 books, and these books, they have been written by different authors at different times. So Old Testament and New Testaments are the sections of in Bible for Christians. In modern times, the term secularism was used by George Jacob Hoyoke, the British writer, in 1851. The term secularism was first coined by a British writer, George Jacob Hoyoke, in the year 1951. First coined means he was the first person to use the word secularism. Now you can see here, he is George Jacob Hoyoke, the British writer. He used this word in 1851. Now, why did he use? He used this word because he wanted a social order which separated religion and state. He wanted a social order in the society which separated religion of people and state, that is the government. He wanted religion and politics. Both should be treated separately. Both should be treated separately. So he coined this word secularism, and he discussed various concepts of secularism. Now let us see definitions given by different prominent persons and writers for secularism. George Jacob Hoyoke, according to him, secularism is an idea of promoting a social order as separate from religion without actively dismissing or criticizing religious beliefs. What did he say? It is an idea. Secularism is an idea. Idea of promoting what? It promotes social order. As I said, he wanted a social order in the society through which we can separate religion and state. And when the religion is separated from the state, it should not dismiss or criticize the religious beliefs of a particular religious denomination. That is what he wanted. So according to George Hoyoke, secularism is a system which seeks the physical, moral, and intellectual development and nature of man to the highest possible level. And the term secularism, it teaches us religious tolerance. That means while respecting our religion, we should also respect other religion. I'm saying respecting other religion. It is not following. All of us has been given the right from the fundamental rights, that is from the Constitution of India, we have got fundamental rights, and one of our fundamental rights is right to religion. That means we are free to adopt, or we are free to practice or confess any religion of our choice. While doing so, we should not interfere with the religious affairs of the other person. We should at the same time respect other religion. According to G.G. Hackman, secularism signifies the kind of life that is lived in complete indifference to God and to religious values. Religious values of one should not imbibe with the others, should not interfere with the others. Now, the term secularism has been derived from a Latin word seculum. This means this present age or this present generation. It talks about the present age or the present generation. Now, as I told you, it was the term secularism was first coined by George Jacob Hoyoke in 1851. And who was he? He was a British writer, a secularist. That means who believed in the equality of all religions, being neutral. He was a British secularist, cooperator, and editor of a newspaper. He was the first man to use the term secularism to restructure the society which was there earlier. Like in 16th and 17th centuries in Europe, religious, they play a very dominant role, and the rulers, they followed all the religious belief to rule the people. The disputes were solved based on the religious teachings, and the religious heads were the people who used to rule the most of the European countries. So he wanted to restructure the society, and it should be, according to him, it should be based on democracy and tolerance, religious tolerance, where equal opportunities were to be given to all the people, irrespective of caste, creed, color, race, or culture. According to different religion, we have different culture, isn't it, children? So all these things should not matter in the state affairs. The state should not check all these, and equal opportunities should be given to all the people without keeping caste or religion of a person in mind. The real concept of secularism is that the state shall not impose any religion on people, and it should pay equal respect to all religion. This is very important. You remember this. The smaller definition of secularism is the state should not impose one particular religion on people. That means you should supposed to follow this religion. You're supposed to follow Christianity, or you're supposed to follow Hinduism, you're supposed to follow Islamic, you're supposed to follow Sikhism. Whatever may be the religion, the state should not impose, it should not force its people to follow a particular religion, because following a religion is the personal affair of the individual. There should not be any restrictions, and there should not be any imposition by the state to follow on the people. Now let us see from where we have got this origin of secularism, from where we have got this secularism. The emergence of secularism can be traced to the age of scientific temper inquiry and humanism, which began in the early 14th century and lasted till the beginning of 17th century in Europe. So it can be traced from 14th to 17th century in Europe. 17th century in Europe, wherein the people, they have developed enthusiasm for inquiry, and developed a concept of humanism. There existed theocratic states existed in the ancient and medieval period. We do not have theocratic states. Now, what is this theocratic states? We are going to discuss now in this session. So these theocratic states, they existed in the ancient and medieval period in European countries. Religion played a crucial role in the political affairs of the state, and thereby church dominated the state. Religion, as I told you, in European countries in between 14th to 17th centuries, religion played a very important role. And not only in political affairs, but also in the personal affairs of the citizens. And here the word church is referred because it was the Christianity was a more predominant religion in those days in Europe. Due to Renaissance, the ideas of enlightenment were advocated by many political philosophers. There was a decline of influence of religion in state affairs. Now, slowly and slowly, when people started questioning, and when people started thinking, there was a decline of influence of religion in state affairs. And that was due to Renaissance. Due to Renaissance and due to ideas of enlightenment by different political philosophers. Now, what is this term Renaissance? Renaissance means it is a French word meaning rebirth. What is the meaning of the word Renaissance? Rebirth. It is a French word and the meaning of the word is rebirth. Rebirth means of not human beings. Here, rebirth means revival of art and literature. Art and literature in European countries. It symbolized the revival of, or it symbolized the beginning of new era of art in Renaissance, and especially it began in 14th century in Italy. Niccolo Machiavelli was the first modern political thinker to separate the church from state. Niccolo Machiavelli, who was he? He was an Italian philosopher. And he came to reputation after writing a book called The Prince. And he earned reputation as a theist after writing this book in 1532. He wrote this book, The Prince. He was an Italian philosopher. He brought the concept of separating the church from the states. From here we can take, he separated the religion from the state. In course of time, people began to realize religion as personal and private matter. So you can see here, getting the concept of secularism was not easy. The work of many political philosophers and modern thinkers has been resulted in bringing secularism to the world. So that is why secularism is one of the best discoveries, or what we can say achievements for democratic states, which is very important in today's world. So slowly and slowly, because of the readings and because of the thoughts and because of the different statements and books published by these many political writers and thinkers, people began to realize that religion is one's personal affair and state has nothing to do with the religion of a person. Now, let us discuss the important features of secularism. As you can see here, these are the important features of secularism: equality, rule of law, protection to minorities, religious freedom, tolerance, all-round progress, law and order, and national integrity. Now, if you see all these features at a glance, now we can analyze what exactly secularism means. Isn't it, students? So secularism here, we can describe it is as a principle of separation of government institutions and persons. Which are mandated for us to rule, We are separating them from religious institutions and religious dignitaries. That means Basically, same law, exact law should be there for all. One civil law for all. It means that one civil law for all. The people should not be should not be shown any discrimination in the name of religion. That is what secularism says. It simply says the separation of religion and government. The separation of religion and government. It also ensures equality for all religion, regardless of whatever section or belief he or she belongs to. This secularism is important because it breaks down the barriers related to caste and religion. These are barriers, what we can say that religion, caste, these are barriers for one's development, and ultimately it does not allow the nation also to progress. So one should develop the broader thinking and come out of this narrow-mindedness. So now let us discuss these important features of secularism one by one briefly. Equality. The first feature of secularism is equality. Equality of for all. For all, who are these all? All religious denominations are equal. Because I said you, India is a land of multilingual and multi-religious. And not only in India, if we check for the all other world countries, there are so many countries in the world wherein people who follow different religion live there with peace and harmony. Peace and harmony. So here, the first and very important feature of secularism is equality for all religious denominations living in the state. It gives no recognition to man-made inequalities. This is very important. Secularism, it says that it ensures equality for all because we want a social order. We want a social order and we want one civil law for all so that the state may progress. So all the man-made inequalities are not given any importance in secularism. Religious freedom. This is one of our fundamental rights also, which is given to us by the Constitution of India, isn't it? We are free to follow religion, whichever religion we want, right to religion. Secularism, it enables individuals to enjoy their religious freedom to their extent. The state will not interfere in the religious affairs of the state. This you have to remember, children. Secularism means the state will not interfere in the religious affairs of the state. The individual is free to follow and profess any religion he wants. The state has no right to interfere. The state is secular. It does not adopt any religion as an official religion of the state. Law and order. Secularism prevents communal clashes and religious bigotry in the state. Communal clashes. Communal clashes means what? Fights or tensions or severe clashes in the name of religion. Severe clashes or fights, disputes between the people in the name of religion. That means communal clashes. When the country follows secularism, when the government itself gives secularism, that means it gives importance to all the religion, then it gives a scope for no communal clashes in the country. Secularism, it gives tolerance. It teaches us tolerance, religious tolerance. Because peace begins with tolerance and respect for everyone, isn't it? It is a well-known fact that as we respect our religion, we should also respect other religion. We should not degrade other religion, isn't it? Degrade other religion. So when we have to live in a particular place with peace and harmony, we have to learn to have religious tolerance. Religious tolerance. Secularism preaches tolerance and kindness. Tolerance and kindness to the other, towards the other fellow beings. National integrity. Now, do you think this concept is new for us, children? No, this is not a new concept for us, children. National integrity means unity of a particular country, isn't it? India is a land which has unity in diversity. Unity in diversity means what? India is a land wherein people belonging to different religious denominations live, people speaking of many different languages, dialects, they live together in peace and harmony. But yet, we are one. We have different religions, we have different languages, we have different culture, isn't it? We celebrate different festivals according to our religion, but yet we are one. That is the concept of unity in diversity. We call ourselves first an Indian, then we attach ourselves to the religion, isn't it? Like Indian Hindu, Indian Muslim, Indian Christian, Indian Sikh, isn't it? What are we first? We are Indian. We are Indian. That is the concept, unity in diversity. We are one. So this promotes the concept of national integrity. It develops and it maintains the tempo of unity and brotherhood, isn't it? Now, as we all know our history, isn't it? Let us go back a little back into the history. Like Britishers have ruled us more than 200 years, isn't it? And all of us know the main reason for the Britishers ruling us so many years was only one thing, that is disunity among ourselves. Disunity among ourselves. So this we have learned our mistake from the history. So history, why the study of history is necessary? So that we should not repeat those mistakes in future. We know that 200 years, the loss what India has bear, we went back 200 years, and till now we are not in a position to recover. If we wouldn't have been ruled by the Britishers for those 200 years, India would have been one of the best nations, developed nations of the world by today, isn't it? So India's wealth has been looted. India's unity has been looted by the Britishers. What was the reason? We were not united. When we realize the benefit, when we realize the strength of unity, then we got united, we fought against the Britishers, and we got back our country. So the same strength is needed always, every time, for us to maintain the national integrity of the nation, which is very important for a particular nation. So secularism, it serves the best tools for fostering unity and integrity among the people. It also protects the rights of minorities. It treats all people alike. It treats all people alike. It teaches people about religious tolerance towards minority sections, Now, the Constitution of India has not defined the term minority. What does minority means? Actually, minority refers to a group of people whose different practices, like their race, their religion, or other characteristics are lesser in number when compared to the same group of the classification. That means less in number, So even if they are less in number, the secularism concept, it teaches the people, that is people who are more in number, majority, to have a religious tolerance towards these minority sections, which in turns fosters the unity and integrity of a particular country. Rule of law. Now this concept, rule of law, we are very familiar with this concept. According to your examination point of view also, children, this rule of law you may get as short answer question for 5 marks, or also very short answer question for 2 marks. What is this concept rule of law? We have discussed this before earlier also. Let me tell you again, rule of law means equality before law. Equality before law, isn't it? No one is ruling us, but law is ruling us. So secularism, it accords to the concept of rule of law. It accords to the concept of rule of law. The next important feature is all-round progress. All-round progress. The greatest merit of secularism relates to the achievement of all-round progress of the people. Of all-round progress of the people. That means, what do you mean by all-round progress? All-round progress is development of your thinking, your positive thinking, your way of your behavior, your attitudes towards your fellow being, emotional skills, cognitive skills, psychomotor skills, and emotional skills, and your interpersonal skills, how you behave with the other fellow beings. So the greatest merit of secularism, it is the achievement of all-round progress of people. Whenever secularism is adopted, a country who adopts secularism or a country who opts for being a secularistic country always achieves the all-round development of its individuals. Now let us discuss this concept rule of law more in detail. Rule of law, it is whenever a country follows rule of law, it is accountability is involved in it. Just laws. Just laws means equal laws. One civil law. Equality in laws. The government is open. Open in the sense it is transparent. The government is transparent. Accessible and impartial dispute resolution. Rule of law involves all these features. The government as well as private actors are accountable under law. The government is always accountable, isn't it? Like in my previous session, we have discussed the powers and functions of state executive, state legislature, and state judiciary. In state legislature, what did we discuss, children? That the state executive, that the ministers are responsible to the legislative assembly, isn't it? So here the government is accountable. Accountable means answerable. And the laws are just. Laws are just mean the laws are very clear, precise, and stable. They are equal and they protect the fundamental rights, including the security of person, contract and property rights, and certain core human rights. All these rights are protected under the rule of law, and the government is very transparent. The process by which the laws are enacted, administered, and enforced are accessible, fair, and efficient. They are accessible by everyone. They are fair and efficient. And the justice, that is the judgment, that is the third important organ of the government, judiciary. It delivers the justice. It is competent, and when it is delivering the justice, it gives exact judgments, and it have the adequate resources and reflect the makeup of the communities they serve. That means impartial judgments are given based on the law. Now let us understand what is a secular state. Let us understand what is a secular state. Secular state is a state which is neutral in matters of religion, and such states are not against the religion nor support it. Very carefully listen, children. A secular state is a state which is neutral in matters of religion. That means it neither supports a religion or it is neither against of any religion. The state is not allowed to enforce any particular religion on people, nor take away their existing religion or freedom from the individual. Every person in a secular state, like India is a secular state. The word secular has been added to the Constitution of India after the 42nd Amendment. The word every secular state, in a secular state, the person has a right to practice, profess, or propagate his or her religion according to his goodwill. The religious dominations have the right to establish and maintain institutions for their religious and charitable purposes, to manage its own affairs in matters of religion, to own and acquire movable and immovable property, and to administer such property in accordance with law. In accordance with the state law, they have to administer these religious institutions, but no individual is allowed to misuse his or her religious freedom. This is also very important. We should not misuse the freedom which is given to us by the government. That is the limitations it has. While we profess or while we practice our own religion, we should not hurt the feelings of the religions of different people who follow other religion. We all love our religion, the religion which we follow. That doesn't mean that the religion which other people follows is not good, isn't it? So that is a very bad thinking which is not ethical. As Indians, we have certain moral values, principles which we are very fond of, and we are recognized with our principles and values, isn't it? So the individual should not misuse the religious freedom given by the government. Now let us discuss what are the characteristics of a secular state. As India is a secular state functions in a way of independent of religion. That means it does not enforces any particular religion on the people. A secular state treats all religions on equal. All the religions are treated equally in a secularistic state. A secular state permits individuals and collective freedom of religion. A secular state views all individuals as citizens with equal. A secular state is not against religion, but it is against what the practices which are followed, which will restrict or which are dangerous for public harmony. Such practices should not be followed in a secular state. Secular state or secularism is a concept which separates religion and politics, that is, it is a principle of separation of government and people religion. So as I told you, we will discuss theocratic state. What does theocracy means? The word theocracy has been derived from Greek words theo and kratia, which means rule of law. Remember carefully, the word theocracy has been derived from two Greek words, theo and kratia. What does it mean? It means rule of God. It is a government based on religion and governed by priests in the name of God. So this state or theocratic state means it has a political system where it acts according to the divine law of particular religion, and it enforces a particular religion on people. It adopts a particular religion as an official religion. So theocracy has been adopted by different countries in different continents in the past centuries, and it is also prevalent in few countries today also. Example you can see here: Vatican City, Yemen, Saudi Arabia, Sudan, Iran, and Afghanistan. These are the few countries. We have other countries also. I have quoted here the examples of few countries who still follow theocracy, who have adopted theocracy. As I told you, theocracy means religious rule. So here they follow the religious rules. Religious leaders are in control of the country. A theocratic state means the religious rulers are in control of the country, and the laws of that particular state are based on the religious book of a particular religion. They do not give importance to all religion. They frame laws in such a way that it is in the interest of a one particular religion for which the state has adopted as official religion. And the disputes in the states, in a theocratic state, are settled by religious rules and regulations, and it is controlled by the religious leaders. As secularism, here, let us again know more about this term. As a philosophy, if we take this as a philosophy, it seeks to interpret life on principles taken solely from the material world, that means of this world, without recourse to religion. It is the focus from religion towards temporal and material concerns. What are the merits of secularism? Freedom to choose and practice your belief, faith, or religion. The country who adopts secularism or who opts for being a secularistic state, it gives a freedom for its citizens to choose whichever religion they want and practice it. No state laws could be made against religious system. The state laws are different. The religious laws are different. It does not combine together. The political systems can make and enforce civil codes without any influence of religious code. So religious laws, they do not correlate here with the political systems. Now, if we see the concept of secularism in India, India is a secularistic country, isn't it? I told you, a secularistic, socialist, and a democratic country. Now, the concept of India, what India uses secularism is different from Western countries. Here, India has many religion and culture, different people who follow different religion. We have a diversified culture. Here, when the Britishers, with the advent of Britishers, they came to India and they set up many Christian missionaries and prayer houses. The Britishers, they implanted the seeds of communalism in India. We all know that when we got independence from Britishers on August 14, 1947, we were not happy. The freedom fighters were not happy because along with the happiness of getting free from Britishers, we also had the pain of dividing our country, partition of our country. This was because of the Britishers, because of the seeds they implanted in India in the name of religion. In the name of religion, the country India was divided into two. So that is why that happiness of independence was not achieved to the best level. So because of this, after the independence, the constitution framers, they provided for secularism. They provided for secularism as the basic philosophy underlying the organization and functioning of Indian Republic. Because the damage what the Britishers has done to us, making us fight in the name of religion and dividing our country, we wanted to undo the damage and bring back the unity in India. So that is why the concept of secularism was adopted in India. Now, if we trace the history of secularism in India, we can trace it from Emperor Ashoka. He was the first great emperor to announce that the state would not prosecute any religious acts. In his 12th rock edict, what do you mean by edict? Edict means an official command and a decree or an announcement. So Ashoka, in his rock edict, he has such 30 rock edicts, inscriptions on pillars or cave walls. And all these he has used for expressing his own edicts, his own orders, and his own commands. So in this, he made an appeal for the tolerance of all religion sects, but also to develop a spirit of great respect towards them. He not only appealed to the people for religious tolerance, but also he appealed for respecting each other's religion. He pleaded for the restraint of criticism of other religious section. That means a person who is following a particular religion, he should not disrespect or show disrespect to the other religion. So Ashoka's secular outlook is one of the landmarks not only in the Indian civilization, but also of the human civilization. Now, why do we need secular education in India? India is a multi-religious and culturally varied society. Fanatism, communalism, and regionalism are on increase. Equality, liberty, fraternity, and national outlook and international understanding need to be propagated. Now, secularists, we need to train the youth to be good citizens. Now, as students, when you listen or when you watch this video, it is a need for you to understand this concept of secularism and to inculcate in you this, and also to pass, because you are our future India, you are the future citizens. You help in strengthening secularism and human relationship in India. India is a democratic country and secular country, isn't it? The country does not discriminate against the follower of a particular religion. According to Vinoba Bhave, the days of religion and nationalism are gone, and the days of science and spirituality have come. We should develop the scientific temper, we should develop humanism, and we should take our country to a next level. Spirituality and good conduct must be taught in the centers of learning because of our multiracial and multi-religious society. So as a student, you have to shoulder this responsibility of making our country or a complete secularistic and maintaining the tempo of secularistic country, which is very important for the development of our nation. Now, as I told you, the word secular was included in the preamble of the Constitution by 42nd Amendment Act in the year 1956. In the year 1956. Now you can see here, this is the preamble of our Constitution. The preface. What is preamble, children? It is a preface or an introduction to Constitution. Now you can see here, it starts with "We the people of India." We, that means people, all the people, irrespective of religion, are categorized under this word "we." Having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, and republic. Socialist, secular. So this word secular was added in the preamble of the Constitution by 42nd Amendment Act 1976. Equal respect and recognition for all religions by the state. No discrimination by the state on the basis of religion. Non-interference in the functioning of any religion by the state. That means state, that is politics and religion, they function separately, and no official religion in India. As it happens in theocratic states, they adopt a particular religion and they make laws only for the favor and development of that particular religion. So those states are called theocratic states. They adopt a particular religion as official religion. India has no official religion because it is a secularistic country. So here in this chapter, we have discussed, or in this session, we have discussed a very important topic, that is secularism. I hope all of you might have understood this topic very well because it is very important concept. Now let all of us hope secularism, you will make this secularism into a stronger force. It is your responsibility as a student, as future India, as future Indian citizens, it is your responsibility to strengthen this force of secularism and to make India a very, very developed nation. Thank you everyone for your participation. Thank you once again.
SHAITAZ Begum, it was a wonderful session. Thank you very much for the session.
Thank you very much, sir.
Hope we can look forward for secular, truly secular India, not pseudo-secular India. So
Yes,
with the perversion from different corners of the society, let's hope the students won't be affected, and let's look forward for a secular, truly secular society. Thank you very much for the session. I look forward for some more session, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.